and a very warm welcome. I am Gushin Galan and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. Today we begin in the United States. The White House says Donald Trump's tariffs will go as scheduled. These duties will be announced today and will come in effect on April 3. The day has been dubbed as Liberation Day for America. The Commander-in-Chief has promised that these tariffs will settle trade imbalances and support U.S. industries. In West Asia, Israel has lifted all remaining tariffs on U.S. imports. Israel is hoping to avoid Trump's sweeping reciprocal tariffs through the move. The removal of tariffs will aim to strengthen economic ties. U.S.-Israel bilateral trade reached $34 billion last year. U.S. lawmaker Cory Booker broke a U.S. Senate record. He spoke for 25 hours straight. This was the longest ever speech in the U.S. Senate. He protested against President Donald Trump's policies. He slammed Trump's shutting down of federal agencies and immigration laws. U.S. prosecutors will be seeking death penalty for Luigi Mangione. He is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione faces both federal and state charges, but pleads not guilty. Mangione allegedly targeted Thompson due to his anger with health insurance companies. China held military drills around Taiwan for second straight day. Mock live-fire drills focused on hitting key ports and energy sites. The exercises are named Straight Thunder 2025A. Taiwan has condemned Beijing's simulated exercises. Russian President Vladimir Putin met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Both of them discussed Ukraine, Iran and global security issues. Wang Yi is on a three-day visit to Russia that began on Monday. Putin expects Chinese President Xi Jinping to visit Moscow in May. Russia launched a drone attack on Ukraine's Kharkiv. At least 8 people were hurt in the assault. Among the injured was an infant and a 7-year-old boy. The attacks come amid a U.S.-brokered ceasefire on energy and Black Sea infrastructure. Both Ukraine and Russia accuse each other of violating the truce. U.S. strikes have killed 4 people in Yemen's Hodeidah region. A water-managed building was also struck, according to the Houthis. The offensive is part of U.S. operation against the Houthi forces in Yemen. This campaign was launched on March 15. Over 60 people have died in Yemen since then. Israel is planning to expand its military operation in the Gaza Strip. Defense Minister Israel Katz wants to seize large areas. The captured land would then be converted into security zones. Palestinians in Gaza are at risk of forced evacuations under this plan. Syria experienced a nationwide power outage yesterday. Multiple malfunctions in the national grid caused the blackout. Some provinces like Homs and Tartus have regained electricity. Efforts are underway to restore power elsewhere. In climate news, torrential rains and hailstorms wreaked havoc on several Greek islands, including Paros and Mykonos. It has left roads flooded and vehicles stranded. The extreme weather led to school closures on multiple islands, with civil protection agencies on high alert. Finland has officially shut down its last active coal-fired power plant, Salmisaari. It was in Helsinki. This marks a major step toward cleaner energy. Finnish energy company Helen announced that the closure will cut its CO2 emissions by 50% and reduce Helsinki's total emissions by 30%. Finland has pledged to ban coal in energy production entirely by 2029. Environmental activists spray-painted 2 Tesla stores in Sweden, targeting locations in Stockholm and Malmö. The group Restore Wetlands aimed to protest Tesla owner Elon Musk's undemocratic actions. Tesla sales in Sweden have reportedly dropped 64% in the past year. A groundbreaking study suggests previous economic models have vastly underestimated the financial impact of climate change. If global temperatures rise by 4 degrees Celsius, the average person's wealth could drop by 40%. This is much higher than earlier estimates. If warming is limited to 2 degrees Celsius, global GDP per capita could shrink by 16%, hence raising concerns about economic resilience in the face of climate change. Former world leaders, including Ireland's Mary Robinson, are calling on the EU to maintain its climate commitments amid distractions like trade disputes and defence spending. The Elders, a group founded by Nelson Mandela, will meet with EU and NATO leaders to advocate for strong green policies, warning against diluting corporate climate disclosure rules. On to business and tech news now. General Motors led US vehicle sales in the first quarter. They reported a 17% jump to over 693,000 deliveries. Toyota, Honda, Hyundai and Kia also saw sales increases, while Ford experienced a slight dip. The auto industry now faces fresh uncertainty as Trump's 25% tariffs on imports, vehicles and parts take effect on Thursday. Mass firings have begun at the Department of Health and Human Services. The layoff will affect divisions like FDA and CDC within the HHS. A total of 10,000 workers are expected to be affected. These measures are part of Trump's plan to reduce federal payroll. Newsmax has witnessed unprecedented rise in its stock prices. It is a news channel backed by President Donald Trump. Shares surged over 2,200% since it went public on Monday. The firm's market valuation is now at $20 billion, more than Fox News. Trump promoted Newsmax during his first term. India has reportedly agreed on terms of reference for a bilateral trade deal with the US. The breakthrough comes just a day before April 2, when US are set to be announced. The TOR, which lays the groundwork for the agreement, required approval from India's highest political office, with the PMO reportedly pushing for swift finalization. Paul Marchant, CEO of fast fashion brand Primark, has resigned. This follows an investigation into inappropriate behavior towards a woman. Marchant acknowledged his error of judgment. He said his actions didn't meet the standards set by his company. US-based restaurant chain Hooters has filed for bankruptcy. The company, known for its chicken wings, faces financial woes. It is struggling with rising costs, debt and competition. Hooters is planning to shift to a fully franchised model. All its outlets will now be independently owned. Japanese video game company Nintendo will reveal the highly anticipated Switch 2 today. The new model, visually similar to its 2017 predecessor, boasts a larger screen, a wider stand and detachable Joy-Con controllers. It promises more power while maintaining its hybrid design. The update is eagerly awaited by gamers and investors alike. A viral trend of generating Studio Ghibli-style AI art using ChatGPT's image tool caused a record-breaking surge in users last week. Average weekly active users surpassed 150 million for the first time in 2024. It strained OpenAI services and prompted temporary usage limits. Data from Sensor Tower also showed record high in active users, app downloads and subscription revenue following updates to the GPT-4o model. Trump will assess a final proposal on TikTok's fate today. This is just before the April 5 deadline for the app. TikTok must find a non-Chinese buyer or face a US ban. A reported high-level Oval Office meetings will include Vice President J.D. Vance, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and other top officials. TikTok notes the app's Instagram competitor is shutting down. The app was launched in 2024 and was tested in Canada, Australia and Vietnam. It aimed to compete with Instagram by focusing on photo content. Users have been informed on the shutdown, which happens on May 8th. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. Punjab beat Lucknow by 8 wickets in the ongoing Indian Premier League. After taking to field, Punjab restricted Lucknow at 171 runs with Arshdeep Singh's 3-wicket haul. In response, Punjab chased down the total with 22 balls remaining, with Prabsimran Singh's 69-run inning and Shreyas Iyer's 52-run knock-off just 30 balls. Charlotte Edwards was appointed head coach of the England's women cricket team. The former England World Cup winning captain replaces John Lewis, who was sacked in the wake of Ashes thrashing in Australia when the tourists lost all 7 games of the series. South Africa's white ball coach Rob Walter has resigned 2 years into his 4-year contract. The resignation follows South Africa's poor record in bilateral series. Under Walter, South Africa played 7 ODI series and lost 3, including their first ever whitewash to Pakistan. In football, Arsenal beat Fulham 2-1 in Premier League. Mikel Merino struck the opening goal late in the first half. Arsenal's Bukayo Saka marked his goal-scoring return in the 73rd minute. Fulham's lone goal came after the end of regular time when Rodrigo Muniz hit the back of the net. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has defenders Gabriel and Jurrien Timber will be assessed for their injuries. The two Arsenal stars sustained injuries during Tuesday's 2-1 win over Fulham. While Gabriel was forced to withdraw early in the game, Timber could not continue because beyond the 70th minute. Injured Manchester City forward Erling Haaland will be out of action for the next 5 to 7 weeks. Manager Pep Guardiola confirmed. Haaland sustained an ankle injury in Sunday's FA Cup quarter-final victory over Bournemouth. Reports say that English football's governing body has stepped up its lobbying of the government to make forced entry into football stadiums or tailgating a criminal offence. This comes as the UK and Ireland prepare to host the 2028 Men's European Championship. In hockey, Indian forward Vandana Kataria announced retirement. The 32-year-old leaves the sport with 158 goals from 320 games. The Haridwar-born player's hat-trick in a must-win game against South Africa at the Tokyo Olympics, where India finished fourth, remains an enduring legacy. In boxing, India's World Cup campaign was off to a poor start as Lakshya Chahar lost his opening bout to Brazil's Wanderlei Pereira in 80kg category. The reigning national light heavyweight champion suffered an unanimous 0-5 defeat. Indian men boxers are yet to present their challenge in 50, 75 and 85kg categories. In F1, Red Bull unveiled a special white livery ahead of Japanese Grand Prix. The livery has been described by Red Bull as a tribute to its outgoing engine supplier, Honda. It is the second time Red Bull has run a special white livery for Honda, having made a double podium finish at the 2021 Turkish Grand Prix in white. Now inside the world of glitz, glamour and gossip, Netflix's surprise hit Adolescence has skyrocketed to number 9 on the platform's all-time most popular English language series list. The series has racked up 96.7 million views in just 17 days. The show has outperformed Stranger Things 3 and Bridgerton 2, with 2 more months to climb higher in Netflix's 91-day ranking period. Sam Mendes' upcoming Beatles biopic series has cast Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr, and Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, and Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. This marks the first time all 4 Beatles estates have granted full music and life rights for a scripted film series. This makes it one of the most anticipated projects in music biopic history. Disney Plus has renewed Wizards Beyond Waverly Palace for a second season. The Wizards of Waverly Place sequel follows an adult Justin Russo, played by David Henry. He mentors a young wizard while balancing family life. Henry, who also serves as an executive producer, promises big surprises in the upcoming season. David Fincher is set to direct a Netflix sequel to Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Lifetime Hollywood movie. Tarantino is penning the script and Brad Pitt is reprising his role as Cliff Booth. The project marks a rare instance for a high-profile director taking over a sequel from another major filmmaker. And finally, acclaimed actor Val Kilmer passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 65. His daughter, Mercedes, confirmed that the cause was pneumonia. Kilmer has been battling throat cancer for several years. He was known for his role as Batman in Batman Forever, Jim Morrison in The Doors, and D.O.C. Holiday in Tombstone. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us.